Good morning. So it's 9:50 a.m. The Queen has been um, brought into her wake, I believe. It just happened September 12th here, Monday. And I'm going to be reading from the Bhagavad Gita first. I'm going to give Krishna the floor. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. There it is. One who restrains. This is text 3:6. Chapter 3, text 7. Text 6 and 7. One who restrains his senses of action, but whose mind dwells on sense objects, certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender. On the other hand, if a sincere person tries to control the active senses by the mind, begins karma yoga and Krishna consciousness without attachment, he is by far superior. So it says you should not go to this process of God. Perform your prescribed duty, for doing so is better than not working. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. So we need to do some work, as it's saying. Now it says here, very seriously, you want spiritual life, don't come to God trying to get material things. Never start your spiritual life like that. And I got lucky when I started mine, about 17 years old. It was about 25 years ago, actually. And I started to chant, and I went towards God. I was in New York City, and I said, you know what? This is not really pleasure. This is not really a good life. Even with everything there is that is pleasurable, that I had available, right? I used to go to raves. I used to have a lot of fun dancing and hanging out with, friends and young girls and all these things, and just, and just had other friends and stuff. But I also remember there was no nectar. And not only that, the more you took, the more you suffered. That's how it works in the field of the senses. So he's saying, Krishna's saying, don't do that. Because, he's not saying, but he's saying that you're not going to get anything from that. This is not superior. You come to this line, and all you're thinking about is yourself. Like if you're sitting there chanting, right? And you're not, man, you don't have a situation, like, that you have to get out of or something. And you're just sitting there chanting for you. Oh, I want this, first of all, you're not getting anything here good. As I just explained. By 17, I realized there's nothing here that's worth to die for, right? But for me, what I've gained from that is the service. I came in doing service, and I was so devoted to it, luckily. And this is what you can do. You can go to God and not want anything. That is the best way to go. Don't listen to people that, you should go to God and he'll get you this and a Mercedes. And no, what he'll do is he'll give you the attention span to think and do what's right. People don't even want to think these days. They're so cooped up in their miseries, in their their life of, I want to be this, I'm going to be that they don't like to think. They like to bypass thinking. And then you have a lot of people that have done terrible things. They don't like to think either. So nobody likes to think these days, I find out. And when people think critically, some other people might think, oh, you're crazy. Why would you analyze things? People actually think that impulsive behavior has become the way to live. And if you critically think, then you're no good. This is the total nonsense. Your life is meant for critical thinking. Human life is meant for that. There's nothing else to do in human life. All the animals got you, by far. They can live outside. They can mate freely. They don't have any expenses. They're living the good life compared to what you want. So they're showing you that they can live the good life and not need anything. And they could fly. They could swim fast. So these things, they could run really fast. So they got you beat by many things, material-wise. So what can you do to become human is think inside of you. What is going on here? What is this world for? when it restrains the senses. So if you do restrain your senses, don't think, oh, I need a material gain. I got to make myself superior. I got to be the one. I got to, get this wife. I got to look the best. I got to get the best job. I have to. When you start making those stipulations is when you become a pretender in worship. That's not what it's for. Now you can want to service. You can say, okay, I need to have a prescribed duty because we have to work. You have to do something, right? You have to move energy in order to live in this world. So you can say, I need to work. So I want to work for God. I want to make things progress, in my life progress for working for God and make progress for Him in society. That would be the best solution, right? So we got to keep that solution on our dashboard, right? That's what we want to do. Now, we have to turn over more to what are we aiming at, right? If you have an aim, then you have some impetus, something to run with. So you have to think yourself that you are aiming at where? At the divines, right? At divinity, the spiritual world. Why else? There's so many worlds. We even see that the sun is a world. The moon is a world. You think of course they're inhabited. Of course. Why else would they be there? So there's so many planes of life. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. There's so many planes and so many facilitations. So don't make offenses, meaning don't do things that are bad to saintly people or people that are, innocent, etc. Never do that. If you ever do that, go to them right away. Say, I'm very sorry. I made a mistake. I didn't really understand it. And mend yourself. You owe them money, give them the money. It's worth it. You're not going to get anything in this world. You're not going to take a dime with you. You're only going to get old. And this life is so fast that for the heavens, it's like a lightning bolt. That's how fast your life occurs. Because, it's the whole thing with time, how it expands and with space. So for them, it's like your life is like a lightning bolt to them. Yeah, literally. A little time here, a little time there goes by here of a long time. So you're living a lightning bolt life. Very fast. You're going to grow old, get better. It seems like it's long. Why does it seem long? Because you're supposed to experience that you have this body. Now you're going to say, I'm going to devote it to God, and I'm going to be spiritual, and I'm going to do my spiritual means. You don't need to have any particular designation to be qualified for that. God speaks every language. He speaks the language of the heart, mainly, also. You understand? He's more advanced. These are very advanced beings. We have no idea. We think that, this is it. Everything like that. All right? So make yourself focused. That's the program for God. And everything else will fall into place properly. Not the other way around. Don't make God for everything and then think it's going to focus. No, make everything for God and things will come in itself. Because that's the natural way. Because God is the root, right? So if you water the root, you get the nurture, no matter what you do, right? If you water the leaves, not much nurture. There you go, So you got to water the roots. They say they do water, they drink with the roots. So I'm going to just kind of look into the Bible here and just slip around. And we're going to go Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. Okay. So just going to go back and forth. Om Jesus Namaha. 3 times. Om Jesus Namaha. Om Jesus Namaha. So, Luke. Who is the greatest? A dispute also arose among them as to which of them was to be regarded by the greatest, to be the greatest. And he said to them, the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and those in authority over them are called benefactors. But not so with you. Rather, let the greatest among you become the youngest, and the leader as the one who serves. For who is the greater? One who reclines at table, for one who serves. Is it not the one who reclines at table? But I am among you as the one who serves. You are those who have stayed with me in my trials, and I assign to you as my Father assigned to me a kingdom, that you may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom, and sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Interesting. Simon, Simon, behold, Satan demanded to have you, that he may sift you like wheat. This is very similar, actually. So, that, you will get a position, he's saying, and you will be able to be part of judging man. You understand? So that's what the goal is. The goal is, right? It went from there to there. So the goal is what? You can become upon the gods and look over man. You can go further than that. You go, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan demanded to have you, that he might sift like wheat. But I have prayed for you that faith may not fail. And when you have turned again, strengthen your brothers. Peter said to him, Lord, I am ready to go with you, both to prison and to death. Jesus said, I tell you, Peter, the rooster will not crow this day until you deny 3 times that you know me. Oh. So, Jesus is very, is very mysterious with this, with these wordings. And we have to see that the rooster will not crow until you deny 3 times that you know me. So he says, it's not so much that you should fall with me. That's nice of you. But it's more important that, the message goes out, right? So this is the idea. So the greatest is those who is looking out for the whole and who's looking out for spiritual life. Not for the self again. So if you're looking for yourself, what are you going to get out of it? Just praising yourself, regard for yourself, right? Just feeding and, the eyes and the senses. So this is not what you want. You want something that is something better, You want something that is substantial and wholesome and gives you freedom and life, right? With spiritual life, that's what you actually get, but you have to follow it through. It's not something that you can, pick up and put down, and think that you're going to make serious progress. It's something that you have to stay on track with and put your energy into to get real progress from it. Otherwise, it never won't manifest. That's what it's like. So, as he says, put your youngest as the person who you give your attention to. It's not like we're older and we say, "Give me your respect." That's not what society's about. That's what it's demand. You're supposed to look and honor and give for the youth and others a chance at life. That should be your duty, right? So you should always be thinking like that. Never think I should take somebody's youth. I should take their, that's the evilest thing you can do. Or I'm superior to them. I should manipulate them with my elderliness. Never do that. That's the worst you can do for your spiritual life. Okay? Because you're not here to serve your dead body nor your ego. And if you do that, then you fall into pride and envy and all these things and greed and lust. And you're finished. You're finished. You're going to be part of the material world again, hard to get out of it, all these things. So let's just go into my book real fast, see what's going on. I'm going to do Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Oh, wow. So, the male's genital is a positive reactor of human biology categorized in DNA centricity. That full DNA in itself when the body of a male is aroused or stimulated, the smaller male genital becomes enlarged because almost becoming a different limb altogether. Negative is previous being. This shows how its reactor set intentional. It's fulfilling in itself a set of attention, therefore a positive. It fills the space intended Therefore, positive inclination of the process of mating or procreation in itself beholds a reactionary conduit. And this shows how size is implicit in GNA, as we refer to the centricity being its harness has an input centering, having a spherical design. It's poised for a multifaceted dynamic that precludes by its design. It presides on negative base existence with double negative testicles. Below, they are negative because they are below the genital. And it holds is a negative, which is its function, but its action is a positive as it dispenses and fills the space. So this is basically discussing the how sex works, negatives and positives again. So the female is providing a negative space, and the male is providing the positive space. He's filling in the positive. So by that interaction, you have procreation, but he's also using a double negative. So it's not like, and those are, it's actually, you see why it's double. You see that? So that's how life comes out, because he's using his double negative reactor, his testicles, to basically inseminate, his mate, right? So that would be the process of life, procreation. So these things are there; they're explicit to us now. Geonegative axis, I explained, space and stuff like that, the filling of space, the void of space. This is now you can understand it with GNA. Now you can see the body how it works. How we have eyes, holes. You can decipher it if you understand the schema, of the creation of using negatives and positives. That we're on a geonegative axis though, so much that we have to rely on a negative, double negative, the testicles and the space, the woman's uterus, right? So these negatives get together and they create let's say, a positive function, a baby. You get a baby, he gets life, right? Or she gets life. So this is how the process of life works. If you want to do something good, you have to fulfill something. Fulfill what's needed, right? If somebody is having a bad time, and then you bring them a cup of, bad time, then they're gonna be like, oh, this is terrible. I don't want this. So in life, you have to, or if somebody's hungry, you want to bring something to eat. You don't want to bring them a book. Hey, read this book. You're hungry, you read this book. So you have to be able to find out what is good in life, what is needed, and not put yourself or try to use rules in life for yourself. Always give it to God. If you give it to God always, you won't get into this problem. You won't get into the problem of is it for me? Should I give that to them? Am I doing this right? Was I too this or that? No, just give it to God, and it'll be naturally flowing in this world. And that's what He wants and they want, believe it or not. It doesn't mean giving out your individual. You're going to have to give up this individual body anyway. But it means that you're giving yourself to the higher cause, to the truth of this world, in understanding, in actions. It doesn't mean that, oh, I accept Jesus, but I'm going to go out here and I'm going to go curse that guy out and I'm going to go, sleep with that lady and I'm just going to, take my shoes off and forget about this world. But I accept, God and even though I don't care for anything and any rules or anybody, just trying to fill myself, they say, but I surrendered to God. That doesn't, you didn't really surrender. Surrender is an action. It's in actions. It's not just words. I accept Jesus. It's an action. That's why even in the Catholic Church they say, you're not supposed to take, the communion unless you're qualified, unless you're actually following. If you're not, then don't take it. They say, that's what a lot of them say. So, it's a similar idea. We have to have this idea that if you want to have life, you have to first of all understand the negatives and positives of things in their actual format. What is negated, what is actually giving regard, and then what is exasperating and all that stuff. And what is redefining, recycling. So if you understand all that, then things work out a lot easier. And you start understanding the science of this world. But you have to work with God simultaneously to understand that. If you negate God and say, I'm doing this for me, I'm doing this for my ego, then you're going to keep arriving at nothing. And you're not going to have information that's needed. So this is a problem now. So many people are trying to be spiritual leaders. But you find out they're all for themselves. They're part of, weird cults, weird underground mood groups, and they do weird things and have weird ideas, and they're trying to be competitive. They think that if they outbeat somebody, then they'll be the highest spiritualist. How's that even possible? Then you have no faith. You're a pretender. That's why Christians saying you're a pretender. If you're just sitting there like, oh, I need spiritual things because I want to be the best and I want to look good and I want powers and I want more money and then you're not doing spiritual life properly. But if you say I need the money because I want to serve God, I want to do what's right, then you might have a chance. You understand? And God can give you a chance. There's a chance here. It's not easy. Don't think it's that easy to go home to Godhead. Not everybody gets lucky like that. Sometimes people, they have a child, that child becomes so saintly that that child can bless the parents, burn their sins, that they got lucky. Not always, but sometimes they get lucky like that. Sometimes they earn that too, believe it or not. They in themselves, they earn to have a child like that. It's true. Everything comes for a reason. But they also got some luck. That child could have done something else. So you have to be on point. You have to be on top of your spiritual life. And you have to be honest. Without honesty, nothing comes about spiritual-wise. Nothing. I'm telling you, it's the root of everything, honesty. Before there was anything, before there was even asat sat, there was still just the truth that's underlying in you. Before you could say, there was just truth. Truth itself came out and said, this was it. This is, now I'm a being. Now I'm going to create beings like that. That's how it was. So, I'll leave you with that. Some pondering. I haven't done this in a while, a little rusty. But I took a little break for a while. So yeah, I hope that helps you in your spiritual journey. Some encouragement, some faith. There's God out there. He communicates to us. He shows us signs if we're ready. If we're ready to have those signs and we have the right cause, then God is ready to help us. Believe it. I believe it in my own life. I see it. I saw it yesterday. Somebody was gang stalking me and lightning, boom. As soon as they were, the person was like shook, like they saw a ghost. When I looked into their eyes and was like, you're lying. And the lightning hit them. The lightning hit, like an explosion, and they just, like they saw a ghost. They had to run back to the computer to find out what to say, Gang stalkers is a serious thing that I'm dealing with. They think that they can get something spiritual from me, from bothering me. This is how stupid people are. So don't waste time with stupid people and waste your life trying to get anything from anybody, artificially or stealing. You will ruin your life, you'll ruin others, and you'll have bad karma to face. Okay? So do the right thing, and I'll leave you with that. God bless.